Hi, my name is Doug Clower, and in this Chalk Talk, I wanted to help you describe what Novell File Management Suite does to address customers' unstructured file space. Customers' unstructured file space, on average, consists of about 70% of their total storage infrastructure. Now, the distinction here is we're not talking about structured data such as a database, Oracle, SAP, or some other structured database, which is generally well managed. Usually the unstructured file space is poorly managed, and as a result, it gets out of control. What Novell File Management Suite is designed to do is to help address this space, manage the files that are there, and do that based on different things. Let's start with the beginning scenario where a new user has joined the organization and needs to have space provisioned in the environment for them to store files in the environment. So the key here is, as that new user joined, a component of the Novell File Management Suite called Novell Storage Manager provisions space in the environment based on their identity and policy, and decides where to place those files or where to carve out space in the file system based on what their role is. Does it need high performant or very highly available storage space, or can it exist in a middle tier type storage environment? It uses policies in this process, and the policies themselves govern what files can be stored, how they're stored, where they're stored, and helps prune those over time, keeping them in shape, etc. In addition, this same technology around policies is used by Novell Dynamic File Services. It's intended to help look at files, specifically in terms of how those files have been accessed, who owns them, how stale they are or how active they are, and in this process, it decides when there's a file that hasn't been accessed in a long time, based on the policy that's in place, decides whether to push that file to a lower cost secondary storage environment, which helps reduce their cost of ownership, or maybe even push it into a cloud storage provider such as Amazon, Rackspace, or others in that space. In addition, by being able to do this and transition it down, it helps reduce the footprint of that active file space and helps improve the backup window for the fault tolerance and the backup systems in place. In addition, there's a third component, Novell File Reporter, which actually helps report on the file system to help tune the parameters. The output, the reports that this produces, are used by the manager then to help fine-tune the policies and decide, especially as new file types join the file system, what to do with those, how to manage those, are they the right kind of files that should be here. But that whole process is a matter of tuning the policies. Novell File Reporter also is a great entry point into a customer environment to help assess exactly where they are and whether or not they really have a storage issue or a challenge in that space. Maybe it's admitted, maybe they know it's there, maybe they don't, but the intent is it actually helps as an entry point and can be sold as a standalone product to help get into the door and then upsell to the larger suite. Novell File Reporter also serves a role in helping to manage regulatory compliance in terms of who owns a file, who's accessed the file, who may have deleted the file, who's edited it, in terms of understanding who actually has access to it. To bring it all back in the circle, all the way back to the beginning point, Novell Storage Manager, we have the opportunity at this point then, based on whether or not a user leaves the organization in terms of they become inactive, they've left, they're on leave, whatever we want to do with that, it helps manage the disposition of those files, either by deciding to archive those files or to reassign those files to someone else. Basically, it's there to preserve the file itself and make it useful or available to anyone in the organization over a long-term period of time. In total, these three components, as part of File Management Suite, very well address the issue of the unstructured file space in your customer environment.